Welcome to Comic and Screen. I am Sam Otten, and I am joined again by my guest, Jason Book from houseofjb.blogspot.com. Jason, thanks again for being here.
Hey, anytime, Sam. My pleasure.
It was not very hard to convince Jason to come and talk about Batman v Superman. So, what we're going to be doing here is talking about the upcoming movie, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and specifically talking about where they can go from Man of Steel. And so, I've got some thoughts on this that I'll put your way, Jason. So, one of the things that I really liked about Man of Steel, because I'm a Man of Steel fan, one of the things I liked was they did the origin story and they built Krypton as this planet and this real civilization. And then they took Krypton and they based the villain from Krypton. So to me, it was actually kind of a nice bookend of Krypton at the beginning and Krypton coming around for the big climax with the villain. So now I think that sets up Batman v Superman well because Superman had his big showdown where he had to decide between Krypton and Earth, and he chose Earth, and he decided to take that leap of faith and reveal himself to Earth and hope that Earth can accept him. And that leads now to Batman v Superman, where basically now Superman needs to win over humanity. He needs to win over the planet Earth to get them to trust him as a hero. Because he's so powerful, you kind of need to have that trust, or else it's pretty scary. So I
Right.
think it makes sense to have Lex Luthor in the mix and have Bruce Wayne in the mix, because those are basically your two most powerful humans representing kind of humanity on Earth. So I kind of like where they set this up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential. I really hope that it's not going to be the case of too many characters kind of spoiling the broth that we've seen in a lot of comic book movies. Because I think what you just talked about right there, having Superman, Batman, Lex Luthor, like that's a movie right there. So
Yeah,
I
for
hope with
sure.
all this kind of leading into what will be the Justice League, it's not too much. But I've heard a lot of things that what I think it will be is a lot of it will focus on the destruction at the end of the fight between Zod and Superman because it really was intense. I really enjoyed the movie, but when you watch it again, you're like that is like really like a lot of catastrophic damage, and somebody's got to answer for that. So I really think they're going to go with that angle, and I also think that how they play Lex Luthor, the casting of Jesse Eisenberg, they really got to nail this right because if they don't have a believable Lex Luthor that it can be a mental foil for Superman, it kind of hinges on that for me.
Yeah. And I mean, I think they've set it up well because Lex Luthor loves to manipulate people and manipulate the public. We know that from the comics for sure. And so the Kryptonian invasion and the fight with Zod, I mean, that gives Lex Luthor a lot of ammunition to try to turn the public against Superman and try to use that for Luthor's own personal gain. So I'm hoping that they do that well, that they have this kind of young, precocious, person who's very power hungry but very savvy, and I think he's gonna. I mean, this is just speculation, but I think that Luthor is really gonna be trying to turn the public against Superman and saying we can't trust this guy. He's too powerful. Look what he did. All this stuff, because the world doesn't really know the hero of Superman yet. Superman just became Superman at the very, very end of Man of Steel. So we, the fans, like we've known Superman for a long time. We know what he stands for. We know, that he's this inspirational figure. But the people in the universe, the movie universe, they don't know that yet. So I feel like Luthor's really going to stir the pot and try to get people against him. And I think Bruce Wayne's going to be on the fence. I think Bruce Wayne and Batman, they're going to be skeptical. They're going to be nervous about this new Superman on the scene. And
Hmm.
so I think we're going to have to try to watch Batman and Bruce Wayne struggle to decide whether they can trust Superman or whether they have to take him down.
Yeah, I think they're doing something interesting having Bruce Wayne be older. See, I always thought that they really, whether they could have got Christian Bale or not, they shouldn't ignore what they've done with those Batman movies. It doesn't have to be that, like, okay, like they're following on from it, but kind of have it off to the side, like Batman is older, so technically those movies could have happened in this continuity, and that's really something they shouldn't throw away. And I think that makes it really like they can play on Batman being like, I've seen a lot of things, but I've never seen anything like this guy. This guy's really dangerous. Somebody needs to stop him if he's
Mhm.
cut loose, like seeing that destruction at the end of Man of Steel. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope that the dynamic between them is well done. I think that Ben Affleck can be really good at times, and the way he's acted in the last few movies in his career, he's come a long way. So I think he could be an interesting person to go against Superman for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's like you said, Luthor, Batman, Superman. That's a movie right there, and we already have. We have a storyline for Luthor that he's basically trying to use this whole thing to make a power grab for himself and to turn people against Superman. We have a story for Batman because Batman is basically really wondering, oh, do I need to take Superman down? Because if he's not trustworthy, if he's not a really positive, heroic figure, then somebody needs to stop him. And then I'm also hoping we have a story for Superman because Superman will have to deal with maybe a big chunk of the public hating him or being afraid of him or blaming him for the metropolis and the Earth, the problems with Earth. So Superman will have that tension too of he's revealed himself, and so he's made himself vulnerable by revealing himself to Earth. But if a lot of Earth rejects him, that gives him a nice storyline, and he has to win over Batman. I'm thinking that Luthor will probably be the linchpin that brings Batman and Superman together because they'll both realize, oh wait, Batman and Superman, we can trust each other. We're both in this for the good, and Luthor is actually the one that is kind of more of the threat, not Superman.
Yeah, I think they'll go that way too, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it. And what do you think of all this, like the side characters they're bringing in and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think you're right to be at least a little concerned about that. They keep saying, oh, it's just going to be a cameo, it's just going to be a cameo, except maybe Wonder Woman. Like Wonder Woman, I can't quite tell if she's like, a main character or if she's halfway between a cameo and a main character or what. I'm not sure. I'm also a little nervous about that because I feel like after Man of Steel, we need to see Superman pretty centrally because he hasn't, like I said, he hasn't really become Superman yet. So I think we need to see him more as the Superman that we know now that he's actually become Superman. And then
Yeah.
Batman, Luthor, we got a lot there. So I'm hoping that they are just cameos. I'm okay with them existing in the universe. So maybe we get hints of them, and maybe there's some big commotion at the end, and so we start to see these other heroes, characters being involved,
Yeah.
or at least kind of making an appearance. But I just, yeah, I think it would get too convoluted if they all try to have pretty decent sized parts in it.
Yeah, and I think also like as long as the story goes where it needs to go to make these things happen. Like if something happens, I don't know if there's some sort of like harbor in Metropolis that they've established, or like some sort of
Right.
ocean next to it, and then you have something with Aquaman maybe coming in, or something with Star Labs with Cyborg coming in,
Yeah.
or but
Some people were speculating that because of the Indian Ocean being, a part of Man of Steel, that maybe made Aquaman aware of what was going on.
yeah, I heard that too, and that's kind of interesting as well. And
Yeah.
then the Wonder Woman thing is the hugest though, because that's something I could almost see happening in a third movie more than the sequel. So
Right.
hopefully they play that up really well. Maybe it'll be she comes in because of some sort of political thing. Who knows? Maybe she's like she has an alter ego like she does in the comics,
Yeah.
where she's like does some sort of job in the U.S. as well besides being from Paradise Island. Who knows, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious. I don't know too much about that, and they haven't revealed very much.
Yeah.
Just real quick too. So there's obviously a lot of character work, and again, I'm hoping that they really develop Superman. And I think it's funny that in the movie, there's the potential for the public to really mirror the public that's in the actual world. Because right now, people are divided over Man of Steel. People that really liked it, people that said, "Oh wow, he wasn't very heroic, or he wasn't very positive, or he wasn't very hopeful." And I think that division can be played in Batman v Superman. We can have the same division in the public that's in the movie universe. They
Yeah,
can
for
be,
sure.
seeing the hope or the inspiration of Superman, trusting that he will do the right thing, and the people that are kind of skeptical of him. Um, Real quick, what do you think of the character designs that you've seen? So we saw some new pictures of the updated Man of Steel costume. We saw Henry Cavill in it recently. People have been saying that the new Superman costume looks brighter. I would just warn them that even in Man of Steel, if you look at the behind the scenes footage, the Superman costume was actually pretty bright, but they filtered it and they toned it down for the actual theatrical release.
Right.
So this one, when you see the behind the scenes shots, it looks brighter, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to see it that bright on the final version. But what do you think about the costume design so far?
Well, first of all, I love that image they released of Henry Cavill as Superman. That is a badass Superman
Yeah.
shot. People are like,
Hmm.
oh, maybe it's Gotham, this, that. It doesn't matter. Like, that's something where it makes him look like he's kind of could be looking at Batman like, what are you trying to do? I could kill you with one hand, you know? Like, I
Yeah.
really like what they're going for there. And he looks, I like the haircut and the whole thing looks
Yeah.
good. For the Batman, they haven't really shown us enough of a shot yet to give me the full, like, I really want it to be, if you're going to channel Dark Knight Returns, then kind of make it like that. but not
Hmm.
as spandexy, I guess.
Hmm.
I hope it works really well because they've done it so well in the other movies that I think they're going to go a different way. So if you're going to go a different way, it really needs to be well done. And then
Hmm.
as far as Wonder Woman goes, I think it's pretty cool. It looks good. It's a little muted, but you can
Hmm.
tell he's going for that kind of vibe he had from 300. And
Hmm.
I reserve judgment on the Wonder Woman costume till I see it moving, and
Yeah.
we'll see what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm all right with it. Again, I'm going to withhold judgment a little bit, but I'm okay with the color scheme that they have. Because I mean, she's a warrior princess. She's not, bright reds and bright blues. And I don't know. Some people might disagree on that, but I actually thought Wonder Woman looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And more than that, I'll just wait to see. I think with Batman and Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, see how it moves.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I forgot to say, remember in 300, there was something that said that they had CG'd people's abs. So if people are
Yeah,
worried about Gal Gadot not being muscular enough, they could always CG some more muscles on her arms or something like
I
that.
hadn't thought of that, but that is a
Yeah,
possibility.
for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. Well, thanks, Jason, for being here. We're also going to be talking about Batman v Superman and what they can do from The Dark Knight Returns, so look for that video soon. Thank you very much.
Sounds good.